Hello and welcome, it's Pete here again, and today we are talking about Halloween, but we're talking about Tim Holtz Vault. Now the Vault collection has been put together by, it's been put together by Tim and by you folks at home as well, because he's taken some of his favorites and some of your favorites and put them into completely new collections. So they've been resized, some of them have been taken from different technologies like big styles or decorative strips, and then we've put together into the most gorgeous little sets. So you're gonna have a lot of fun with this. And today I'm actually gonna be making this gorgeous little coffin box. They take no time at all to put together, so you'll be ready for that Halloween party or to give out candy to the kids when they come round. And you know what? I was in a meeting, an online meeting the other day, lasted an hour, and I had all these cut, and I put together about 20 of them during the course of the hour. I was concentrating, actually doodling or putting something like this together really helps me concentrate. So I did contribute to the meeting. I wasn't ignoring everybody. So let's show you how it all goes together. Let's start off with Vault Gothic portraits. Not only are you getting the portraits, of course, you're getting these wonderful words, the raven, the spider, and the bats. And let's take a look at the way you can use some of these. This is something which hasn't found a home yet. I just made this for fun. Something wicked this way comes, which of course comes from Macbeth, I think I'm right in saying. But yeah, really grungy mixed media kind of techniques going on there. You can see the word in the center. The alphabet comes from the coffin box die set, which we'll look at a little bit later. And a couple more words again. Fright, night, using the alphabet. This one says wicked, and you can see that the wreath is in the background, and there we got the spider web, and of course, the spider. Now let's take these out and let's move now to the wreath itself. Very versatile, of course. It's one of 3 wreaths already released for the Vault series, and the great thing about that is they're all different and they will all work together, so you can overlay the wreaths to get different kind of textures. This one is not so much Halloween. It's more autumnal, although that being said, if you want to make it more Halloween, you can see we've popped the spider web in the center of that wreath, and there's one of the portraits on the top. There's a pumpkin, all those little flowers, we've just gone for an orange color palette, and the word boo at the bottom. So that's using quite a few different ones in there. Then if I take these out of the way, this one is called Vault Wicked. Very eclectic set. Stylistically, it all works together. You have so many elements. There are 15 dies in total here. And let me see if I can find something that I actually made with it. Well, I have, but I haven't got it with me, unfortunately. But you can see exactly what you're getting in this set. It is an absolute stunner. And then next up, it's Vault Fright Night. Now, the branches, they were formerly a big sty. They were on a big sty, so it's nice to see them resized, brought down to scale. But as I said in another video, the trees, they're not just branches, they could be trees. And this is something that I did a little while ago. So we've got those cool trees, we've got those gravestones as well. So that's all cut from this element here. And the smoke, the fog, or the mist, whatever you want to call it, that's actually a Q-tip. It's a cotton bud, just pulled apart, but really effective. So one more thing with those lovely gravestones. So if you want to make a little vignette like this, you've got your bats, you've got your ghosts, you've got your gravestones. It's all good to go. And then finally, the branch. So now, it was a tree, it's now a branch, and we've taken the raven from one of the other sets as well. So it's a lovely, lovely, versatile set of dies. But of course, there is one more, and that is a coffin box. This is the one that we're going to be looking at today. So you can cut this coffin if you have some wood grain effect cardstock. If you just have printed paper with a card with a wood grain on it, you can use that. Or you can bring in some mixed media techniques and you can add some acrylic drag to those. Now you notice all of the little bits and pieces that go on the top. There's quite a few. You've got the bat, you've got the cross, you've got the skull and crossbones with the top hat, should you wish to choose it. But it's a great way to give out candy on Halloween itself, or even if you just have it on your table in a party setting. Of course, not only that, you are getting this wonderful alphabet, but we're going to show you today how to put the coffin together, a few little tips and tricks, and it really is a lot of fun. Right, so today I'm going to be using Tim's switch machine. Of course, Tim's got a psychic machine, there's the fold-away machine, my personal favorite. The switch, it's a 9-inch machine, so it's got lots of space for your die cutting if you're using larger dies or larger folders. It's absolutely ideal. And all you need to do, so we open up the drawer like that. It does have integral storage as well, really well thought through, but there's only 2 buttons. That is the power button. So that means it's all ready to go. And I'm going to take the main dies from my coffin box set. So I'm going to take the 2. This one creates the lid, and this one creates the base of the coffin. As you can see, you've also got the alphabet and all the other bits and pieces as well. So I'll take a strip. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing a cream coffin really, but for what we're doing today, it shows up really, really well. Place the other cutting plate on the top and run it through. And in case you're wondering, if you're familiar with the Big Shot or the fold-away or even the Psychic, this machine does everything that all of those machines do and more, in truth. And it takes all your Biggs dies as well. So if you have a stash of steel rule dies or Biggs dies, then you couldn't ask for a better machine. So that's it, really nice clean cut. Not only has it cut, you'll probably notice that it's creased as well, because these dies have crease rule inside them. So all that creasing has been done for you to save you the trouble. Now let's put this to one side, and we'll bring in our glue and our tweezers and all the bits and pieces to put this together. So here's my box. You'll notice there are some quite fine little tabs, particularly on the coffin. Here's a good tip. Rather than trying to fold those, just get some tweezers, and that makes sure that you're right on the fold line, because having that degree of accuracy, and in truth, you know, the machine, the way that crease sets into the card, it doesn't give you a lot of room for error, if I'm completely honest. But doing that with the tweezers and just twisting it back is going to give you a lovely, lovely deep crease, because the depth of your crease is quite important for how well these things go together. So those are all the little tabs folded in. And then I'm just going to use fingertip pressure to do the others. And this is the part where the hard work and the attention to detail really does make a difference. And remember that hour-and-a-half meeting that I told you about, where I made a bunch of these? Well, I'll bring all the ones that I made in earlier, and you can see just how many I made from scratch. So if you have got a party, and this is something, you know, where the kids can join in as well. The kids can either do the cutting or the creasing or the gluing. It doesn't really matter, but it's lovely, lovely to get them involved. So again, I run where the crease is here. I'm running my tweezers parallel and just twisting it, because sometimes you can get a wonky crease, and that means that your box won't go together as well as you hoped. And that's not, I mean, I'm not just saying that for this box. I mean, it could be, you know, any kind of 3D die that you have. One of the things that cause them, sometimes you put together a really complicated 3D die cut shape, and you find that it's a little inaccurate, and we tend to blame the die. It's rarely the die, it's about getting the creasing right in the first place. So I can take my fold and form, again, make sure that crease is crisp and deep and pin sharp. So we'll go all the way around, like so. And that's it, it's ready to go. Now, another good little tip with these, when you're putting these together, some people, they'll take the glue, they'll put a blob of glue there and try and hold it in place, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. But here's the thing, the glue takes forever to dry, especially if it's quite thick like this. And whatever PVA you prefer, it's all much of a muchness really. I'm going to take the top off my blending tool and bring in one of my palette knives. Now this is part of the Sizzix toolkit, but see how I'm picking up some of the glue with that? And that allows me to spread it really thinly on that tab. So when I hold it together now, look, it's already there. Now imagine you put a thick blob of glue on that. It would take forever to dry, but because I'm spreading it very thinly, I still get, you know, it still adheres very well, but it just dries pretty much straight away. Now, you may think, oh, I could take my glue gun to that. That would be instant. Do you know what? It's not much quicker. It's not, and do you know, when I was in the meeting the other day, I keep going back to that meeting, don't I? It was a very interesting meeting, actually. But when I was in the meeting the other day, doing this is quite therapeutic, and funnily enough, it helps you focus, because I'm one of the world's worst doodlers, in the sense that I'm always doodling. But when I doodle in a meeting, I find it helps me concentrate. It really does. But look at that. There's the base of the box. It's rock solid. The creases are pin sharp. And we're going to do the same with this one now. We've just got these tiny little tabs. So we want to make sure. And with this, with these little tabs, to get that accuracy, it's quite good to, once you put your glue on, to hold it like that. So if you have the tweezers that you know, hold together automatically, the sprung tweezers, they're absolutely ideal as well. And then we'll take the next one, because obviously if the accuracy was off on this, then the lid would be too small for the base, or vice versa. But we'll work all the way around. I mean, you get the idea. We go all the way around until we get that lid, which would give us eventually something like this. So you can pop your candy corn or whatever it might be in there. And these you can give out at the door. You could make it part of your party decor. And let's just see how many of these I made. So I pre-cut them, took them into the meeting, got my glue, got all my bits and pieces, and this is what we made the other day. So you can see I mix it about with the difference. So we got the bats on that one, we got the cross, the skull and crossbones. You can add some of the other motifs from some of the other die sets as well. It's entirely up to you, but I think this is perfect for kids of all ages. So that, now if people wonder how productive that meeting was, well, there you go. There's the proof. Absolutely fantastic, great little die set, fantastic. You know, if you're doing a Halloween party or something like that. But notice the ones that I did originally, the mixed media ones, they're really cool, but sometimes just choosing the right color palette, just keeping it simple, keeping it minimal, and matching it up to your party decor as well. So you'll notice, and there is another video where I made these party bags as well. So if you want to do something personal, something really bespoke for people coming along to your son or daughter's party, it's an ideal way to go. And that is Tim Holtz and Halloween. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun for me as well. Some good little tips and tricks on how to put together 3D shapes. Now, if you want to know more about Tim's Halloween Vault collection, or indeed any of the other Vault collections, go to sizzix.co.uk or sizzix.com, depending on which region you are in. And please check out timholtz.com and see some of the wonderful things his making team have created using these dies. Thanks for joining me today. I've been Pete, and I'll see you again soon.